Okay.
Okay, I'm Stephanie. I'll be playing the part as Nora.
I'm Mara, and I'll be the co-therapist.
And
I'm
I'm
Lauren
Reese.
and I'll be playing Nick. Oh, sorry, Reese.
And I'm Reese. I could play the therapist. So you're walking to therapy. And so what brings you guys to therapy?
So I just feel like personally, Nick hasn't been listening to me, and at this point, it just feels like he's been ignoring my needs and wants recently.
Can I interject there? I would like to say the reason I am not indulging her in these ways is because whenever I talk to her, she's constantly nagging and angry at me. So I find it's just easier to go straight to my room, not even say anything, just avoid the conflict altogether.
But I just don't think it's fair because, first of all, he's saying that I'm nagging, and I think that's very disrespectful because anything, when I ever ask him for anything, it's not that hard to do in that moment. And
Well, it's when you're constantly asking me to do things.
no,
Like,
it's not even
I
that.
don't have time to do all those things. Like,
Okay,
I come home from work,
we're
I
gonna
need some
pause
space.
really quick. How about we let Nora finish what she wants to express, and then we can take it from there, and then we'll address the other issue if that works with both parties.
Yeah, that works with me
Okay.
because I feel
Sure.
like this is just a situation we go through often. And
Right.
honestly, I feel like Nick loves to interrupt me whenever I talk or try to communicate any problem that I have going on. Like, for example, the other day, it was just one little situation where he has this habit that I just don't like, that he loves to keep his dirty clothes all over the place and he leaves his dirty socks in the restroom. And I just tell him this isn't the first, second, or third time. He knows that he shouldn't even be leaving his socks in the restroom. And honestly, it's frustrating because it's not that hard just to pick them up and throw it in the hamper that's like 2 feet away. So
Nora, you literally sound like my mom. I can leave my socks where I want. I'm a grown man.
I don't know what to
Like,
do.
let me make my own choices.
I don't think
So,
it's fair. I feel like I'm picking up after another child, and we already have 2 kids at home.
Well,
And
that's funny because I feel like you're my mom.
well, maybe if you do what you have to do, I wouldn't have to nag you all the time.
so what I'm hearing, Nora, are you feel a little bit disrespected because there are things that you have to keep repeating just for him to do what you want him to do, right?
Yeah. And like, I feel like there's only so much I could communicate at this point. He just ignores me. And it's just frustrating because he just goes to the room and I don't know, like if he's had a bad day, like we don't even communicate how we feel anymore, or like how our days go anymore. It's just the same conversations, like the same thing as like just me telling him to pick up his socks, his dirty clothes, to do help around the house a little bit. Like we have 2 children and I'm coming home from work as well. It's not fair.
Okay, so we've heard Nora. Now going over to Nick, just to digest a little bit more into the situation. So, Nick, I want to ask you personally, um, a little bit more about your side of the story. So, we can understand that, you're coming back from work, you're tired, you're exhausted. The last thing you want to hear is pick up after yourself, right? So, I would like to just understand the why. Why just not do it? So if you can like explain a little bit more and yeah.
Thank you for asking me that. I feel in my family, there is an expectation for me to be working all the time. There's an
Right.
expectation for me to come home and have energy to do everything that Nora wants in the moment. I come home and I want to take off my shoes, and she's already on me for where I'm putting them. I come home and I want to go change, and she says, "Help me with the kids' homework." I haven't even had a minute to breathe yet. And it makes me feel like everything expected of me is my purpose or my identity within the family. Like everything that I do is why they value me, or my value is in what I can do.
Mm.
And I feel like I can't come home and rest, and I'm never asked how I'm doing. And when I try to communicate, it usually ends in an argument because I tend to be short in my communication because I'm tired. And she just assumes that I don't care, I'm not communicating myself. But in reality, I don't want to express what I'm feeling because I know I'll be looked down upon because I'm supposed to have it all together, and I'm supposed to be ready to come home and do everything that she wants me to. Get her chore list done, where it feels like she makes dinner, but that's about it. My chore list is way longer. And I feel like the expectation for me when I get home is a lot higher for me than it is for her.
Okay, so we hear you, and it's so we can see that it's a lot of pressure being the another provider, another person who incorporates into your family, having to provide financially, and it's understandable. It's another strain to attack the mental aspect of being there with your family and being present. And I would like to say that um communication is key. So is that something that you and Nora have discussed? Have you had a chance to regather one another and express that?
Well, for me, whenever I try to express myself, I usually am shut down pretty quick because she's always just so angry with me. So I never feel like I can get a word out.
I mean, honestly, if you had told me all these things that you've been feeling this way, the conversation would lead the way it always leads to, like, an argument. And like you have to see it from my standpoint and how frustrated and how overwhelmed I could get like handling the two kids most of the time. And they come to me for most of everything. Like it's hard to be balancing out their needs and wants, my own needs and wants, and trying to still provide for the household too. So I think if you just come like with that open mind, and I think communicating a little bit more clearly, it would help the situation instead of just giving me some answer where there was like no possibility of like when I know it will get done or when things will like get better. I think it would actually help. So
Would you feel better if I showed you a calendar of when I plan to do things?
yeah, that I mean that helps. We could work out a time schedule to balance out the things and needs around the house. Like I guess you could say like if you don't want to do something in that moment, instead of just telling me you'll do it later, I need more of like a efficient answer where it'll be done in 10 minutes or after you lay down and you change out of your work clothes. Just things like that, like where I expect for things to be done rather than I will hope for it to be done, you
Mm.
know?
I can do that.
Lastly, I just want to share with both of you that, as a couple, we tend to blame our partners and point fingers and assign the blame and assume that they don't care. So or not even just hear you, but see you as well. So it's understandable, it's inevitable, and that's bound to happen. But as you both agree, are on the same page that communication sometimes is just not enough and you need extra communication to where both parties are in agreement on what will work best for you.
Yeah, it sounds like you guys both are here to put in the effort, and I feel that we can both help you with your goals with your communication skills in the relationship and just create like a healthier environment in the home where you guys are both knowing what to expect of one another and that's being communicated in like a healthier way. So, yeah.
I think too, sorry, I was just gonna add, I think, Nora, it would help if we didn't have these conversations right when we both get home from work. I'm usually very tired and don't have a lot of emotional capacity. So I think if we set a time where you're willing to hear my side and I'm willing to share mine or hear your side as well, I think that might help, just so that the expectation isn't a big confrontation right when we get home.
Right.
And as far as the kids go too, I think we can set something up where the our expectations for each other are more clear. Because I never realized that you didn't feel supported with the kids. I thought that was just something that came naturally to you and that was easy for you. So thank you for telling me that.
Yeah, I mean, thank you for being open and honest. I think that gives me a better understanding on how to approach things and let you settle in before I approach you with anything that's going around in the house or with the kids. So
Thanks.
I feel better.
Yeah.
Nancy.
Nancy.
That
That was
Oh
good.
gosh. Hey, that was not bad.
That was good. I was like, okay.
Wait, is it still
Like, okay.
recording?
Yeah, let me stop it.